Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. So today we're going to be listening in to a trio of baby moms who have some stories to tell about this journey.
Okay, I decided to do this vlog, okay, to bring awareness to single motherhood, what we go through, the good, the bad, the ugly. So I just wanted to share you guys a day in the life of what some of our single mothers go through. Get your teacups ready because we're going to be talking about some shit, honey. The one thing that I cannot stand about the whole being a single mother thing, people might turn around and say, well, you knew that this person wasn't shit before you had a baby with them. First of all, we know that a lot of people are not shit before we deal with them or we have a baby by them. Yes, in most cases, we choose to ignore the red flags. A lot of us have done it. Sometimes when the honeymoon phase is over, we see a person for who they really are. Meaning, okay, sometimes you could have a baby, all of a sudden, it don't work out, okay? You could be engaged to somebody. All of a sudden, it don't work out, you're pregnant, or whatever the case may be.
Part of the reason why I chose this video is simply what she said a few moments ago. She said once the honeymoon phase is over, and I want to say, and not the last video, but the one right before the last, dealt with a girl that looked a little bit like Steve Urkel. Well, anyway, that young lady said the same word, honeymoon, when she was talking about people that she's had sexual escapades with, not actually being married and going on a honeymoon. Like, I don't know why so many people have, I don't know if they've just changed the meaning of the word. What is your take on it?
You know what? Again, a lot of these people I feel almost like unconsciously know that they're not going to marry that person. So they just consider that honeymoon phase, because honeymoon phase is the infatuation phase. Like, oh, the person can do no wrong. Oh, I'm so in love with this person. And it just wears off. But for them, I mean, considering they never actually got married, it's like their honeymoon phase is simply, oh, you know, the infatuation phase. But as soon as when it wears off, there's nothing tying them together except maybe a new life that they created, which is kind of a bad thing if you think about it, because then it prevents you from going off and potentially finding somebody that you might have that connection with.
I like your explanation on it, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I feel like when it comes to using the word honeymoon, I think they use it in a way of trying to describe their relationship as new, or like in a sense like I just met this person so my vibes are still really good. I don't know. You guys tell us what you think.
So I've been trying to do this video for a long time, but every time I try to get started, one of my kids walks into the bathroom. I can't use the bathroom. I can't do nothing. Never have a bed to yourself again. Never, okay? Your king size now belongs to you and all of your children, and their crumbs and their shitty diapers and everything. It's great. It's great. Single motherhood is great.
No, I have to disagree again already because, honey, that's your situation. You as a mom, you have to set ground rules. I remember what it was like being a single mom, and yeah, there would be times where your kid would be crying and you'd be like, okay, let me try to bring them in the bed, but you kind of like mess yourself up by doing that, because then they think that, well, all I got to do is cry and now I get what I want. I get to be in the bed with her. But that's going to stop you from being able to ever have a man in your bed with you. And ultimately, that's what you're going to need. Your kids are going to grow up and leave your nest, right? So who you're actually there building the nest with is probably going to be the most important person in your life. So that's who you should be spending your time and energy to, like, in your loyalty. You should show that person the most. Not, being mean to your kids or like shunning them, but put them in their place like you're a child. Go to your toddler bed that I purchased and he put together for you. So it's like, come on. What's your take on that?
I totally agree, because me, it's like, I have my bed, you have your bed. Hey, if you're having trouble sleeping, I don't mind getting up and lying next to my child while they fall asleep. But no, I am not going to have you start a routine of sleeping in my bed. Some parents might, but then I've known some people that their children sleep in their bed so much that it dampen their marriage. It was like, you know what? It's like she's letting them or he's letting them, and I don't want this, and stuff like that can, like, I'm not gonna say it's gonna split your marriage apart, but it can be one of those things that just a domino effect of bad choices in the marriage that leads to potential divorce.
Agreed.
Angry face. Ugh.
I wouldn't trade it for the world. I really do love my kids. They're my motivation and they keep me going. If it wasn't for them, I don't really know where I would be at this point.
Let's talk about postpartum depression, which it seems like nobody really wants to take serious. It's very, very serious. Like I really thought in my mind, postpartum set in automatically, because the thing about a C-section, you don't get to have instant skin-to-skin contact. I really thought the doctors had mixed up my child. I really thought they did. I felt like my child didn't know me. And these are things that women go through, even without having a C-section. Postpartum can last for a very, very long time. There are women that unfortunately harm their baby, mistreat their baby, neglect their baby because mentally they're not there.
Yeah, so like time for myself, like, you know, I like to go get my feet done, my nails done, party occasionally, get my hair done. But time is like always an issue, you know, being a single parent. There's a lot of crazy things going on right now in the world. You got to worry about who you trust. You know, family members are doing vicious things to these kids now, and it's coming up years later and it's affecting their behavior.
There are some bitter baby mothers that just feel the need to be extremely vindictive to baby fathers. There are some. But I just feel like single mothers get a bad rap when there are a lot of us that have no interest in being bitter to the baby father, have no interest in being bitter at all. We're just extremely tired. A lot of us great mothers are just extremely tired.
I think it would make sense if you're tired, if you're doing everything on your own. But at the end of the day, you can't very well be walking around with bitter attitude and think that that's going to allow another man to approach you. If you're angry and pissed off at the world, it doesn't leave room for another person to enter into your world. It shuts them out. And so it's like this repetitive cycle. Like you're unhappy because you're alone, but you're alone because you're unhappy. It's weird, but it kind of happens. You know, no one's going to approach the unhappy person. Would you approach a woman like that?
Oh, heck no. I mean, what should I say? Unless you're one of those guys who can, you know, take rejection like a true soldier. I mean, some guys can, but I mean, I've had chicks laugh in my face when I asked them out. So you kind of look for those choosing signals, you know, the smile, maybe the few glances at you. If you don't see those choosing signals, most time you don't approach. And that's the average guy.
Okay? No sleep, doing everything by ourselves, taking care of the kids by ourselves financially. We're financially, emotionally, and mentally drained, as we should, because it's a lot of responsibility on one parent. So if another parent wants to come along that's not contributing and has so much to say and call you bitter, I just want to know who the hell raised you. I need to talk to your mom and your grandmama to figure out who raised you. No goddamn reason. You got so much to say and you ain't been reaching out to help out with nothing. Shut the hell up.
You know, sometimes I wake up and I want to be a dad, but I can't because I got 3 kids and they need to eat.
That was another reason why I chose this video. That comment right there. She said,
Sometimes I wake up and I want to be a dad, but I can't because I got 3 kids and they need to eat.
So in other words, if you're a dad, you're a father, you're not responsible for your children eating. It's literally a mother's responsibility, according to this woman. Do you hear that dynamic? And I'm sure she's not alone in it.
Okay, so this is my whole thing on that, because I'm gonna go off of what the woman said before her. Yes, you're doing it on your own, but see, the thing is, some women consider doing it on their own. It's like, okay, you know, first of all, you're doing it on your own because most of the time, if there is a court battle or whatnot, rather than trying to get 50-50 custody, you want full custody anyway. So even if the guy might have not been a great guy to you, doesn't mean that he's necessarily a bad father. Those are two different things. But if you're trying to get full custody or get it, then yes, the majority of the child is going to be on you. And if you do child support, I hate to say it, child support is simply that. Child support should not be going towards the extra things. Lights, gas, food, clothing, the things that's necessary.
That's her situation. Maybe that's her baby's father, to where he's not contributing at all. I don't have that experience. I mean, thankfully, my daughter's father loves her and takes good care of her every day, you know, so it's like one of those things where I guess it's all in how you pick people, you know what I mean? But hey, let's keep watching. There's a little bit left.
As a single mom, you have no choice. You just gotta, take it and do what you gotta do, because the kids didn't ask to be here.
About being a single mother, we want to date too, we want to go out, and a lot of people feel like, well, you chose to be a single mother, you chose to have a kid, so they feel as though we shouldn't get a break, we shouldn't go out, and that's not the case. We are human, okay? Granted, we might have made a mistake in choosing the particular person that we chose to have a kid with, or things happen, spouses die, there's many different reasons why you can end up being a single mother.
This is a small little Google information tip for everybody who thinks that there's a large percentage of single mothers who were widowed. And apparently it's not. It's just most women don't pick good fathers.
I got 3 boys, 3 black boys, so it's really important to me that I do the best that I can for them, and that I push them to be better than they can ever be. And I think as a single parent, this may sound crazy, being raised by a single mom until she got married, it does something different for you. You kind of raised on survival, and I learned a lot from being raised by my mom. So I try to do things a little differently. Made mistakes with my oldest, my teenager, so I plan to do things different with the younger kids. I don't want to raise kids that have to heal from their childhood. So I'm trying to show them love and trying to teach them how to live instead of survive,
At moments when you feel your lowest, they're there to put a smile on your face. Children don't care about money and how much you make, what you do for a living, what kind of car you drive. They're there to love you.
That was kind of interesting too. She said, children are there to love you. No, they don't necessarily have to. You brought them into the world. It's your job to raise them and give them a good life so that more than likely they will love you, but it's not their obligation. Stop having children so that you'll feel loved.
In other words, don't have children to replace an emotional void in your own heart.
Yes. Well, don't forget, guys, to leave us a comment and tell us what you think, and like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.